Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now, 865-243-TALK. That's 243-8255. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
You are tuned in to The Remedy for the usual boring radio show. You know that radio show, the one you listen to, but it just seems to drag on and on. This isn't that show. This is one of the fastest growing shows on one of the fastest growing radio networks on the air, the Patrick Riggins Show, here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network. Each week we are here as radio announcer shines, as at the beginning of the show, fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Each week we bring to you ever more reasons to continue to work to turn this country around and get it headed back towards good old American principles. Helping us get the message out is this radio station to which you are now tuned, 100.3 WNOX, the station blasting out 100,000 watts of broadcast power, reaching all of the Southeast, more specifically parts of 5 great states here in the southeastern United States. If you want to take your listening to the next level, that of sight, you can do that. Just bring up your web browser on that there internet. Type in the address of this radio station's website, which would be www.wnoxfm.com, and when it comes up, you can sit back and enjoy watching all the behind-the-scenes antics that occur here in the studio. Or sometimes you'll see lack of antics if Tori happened to stay out late that night before.
You watch us on the internet.
Speaking of which, if you're watching on the webcam, you'll see Tori to my left.
I was good last night. Stayed home.
He was, so you're bright and bushy-tailed today?
Yeah, stayed home and played radio.
Yeah. Yes, you want to tell him what you're doing real quick again there?
Oh, well, thank you. I get a plug.
Get a little plug in?
Yeah, started my own internet radio station, Pirate Radio 13. You can go there and listen to us when you're not listening to this great station.
Oh, of course.
And this great show. It's pirateradio13.com. All you have to do is put that into your search engine, and it pulls up the webpage and plays the music automatically. So it's a little bit of everything.
And you can hear Tori all through the week.
Yeah.
Or what he listens to.
Yeah, and it's unedited,
censored,
uncensored. So
edited,
yeah, if you got any little children, you might want to watch it. But other than that,
monitor what they're listening to, what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah, when you're not listening to this station.
Well, I mean, the parents should be doing that, monitoring what your kids listen to. They don't, but
yes,
you know,
I try to. But that's pirateradio13.com. Thank you.
That's Tori's plug for the day.
I'm happy now.
Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in again this week. You're listening to one of the fastest growing radio shows on the dial. It's the biggest and most relevant show on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network, if I must say so myself. In this real quick short segment, I wanted to touch on the story about this thing that came up this week, Mitch McConnell's office being bugged, and all this, and just in general, all this character assassination going on in Washington. You may ask yourself why this is all happening, and it's really very simple. It's because of money. There is too much money and thus power concentrated in Washington, D.C. to be healthy. That's why everyone there is so neurotic. They have no choice. They have such a lust for this power that it corrupts all their principles. Those who had them to begin with, that is. If we didn't have all this money and power concentrated in such a small area, such a small group of people, if this temptation wasn't there, then there wouldn't be so many problems in government, because there would not be any incentive for it. There would be not so much to gain. I don't know if you realize, if you really think about it, there are millions and millions of dollars being doled out to companies and individuals from Washington. There is so much on the line that nothing is over the line. Nothing is going too far, considering the enormous amounts of money available to the right people. Good grief, our budget is over $3.5 trillion. It came out $3.8 trillion. Do you understand how much money that is? And you wonder why there are so many problems in Washington, D.C. Can you imagine how many fewer problems we would have if those amounts of money weren't available? This is why I say there's no difference between the two parties in Washington. Democrat, Republican, both of them spend this money on their friends, their constituents, their campaign donors. All of these people are having a huge party, and we, the taxpayers, are the ones paying for it. And when the dollar collapses, who do you think is going to get hurt? It's the working class of people here. That's who. They're the ones who are going to suffer the most. How many politicians do you think are in that working class? Maybe none? Maybe a couple, 3 or 4, not many. So they don't give a flip if the economy tanks. They have theirs. With all this money floating around, it is too much of a temptation to not try and get their hands on it. These people will do anything to do that. This is what is leading to a breakdown of the system. The founders never intended the government to have this kind of sway in America. They never intended for all this money to be spent by government because they knew it would start to concentrate power in Washington and governments around the country, local and state. This is a bad thing. Just look around and see for yourselves how much corruption, all the waste in government. With a diminished government, you don't have to worry about it much because the money just isn't there. The temptation isn't present because the money isn't present. All right, we're up on the first break here on the Patrick Riggins Show. We have a packed show this week. I hope you still think nice of me after this show's over this week, because we'll probably offend some people, but we probably do that every week anyway.
There you go.
And it's probably good. If I'm offending you, it's because you need to think about things.
Maybe you need to be offended.
Maybe you do need to be offended. Get you thinking.
Never been offended a day in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. I'll come in here and not shower one week. That'll offend
I've been mad plenty of times. I'm never offended.
All right. When we come back, we'll get started here on the Patrick Riggins Show, and we'll kick it off with the President's weekly address.
But I'm